This program is presented by QubicaAMF, making bowling amazing.
Welcome everyone to the 2026 Bowling Promotion Tour's QubicaAMF Masters Series. This is our fourth of 7 matches in this stepladder finals, and we are here in lanes 21 and 2 at the Malo Bowling Center in La Meziere, France for today's match. We have a pair of two-handers for you today, starting with 3-time winner 19-year-old Arthur Willemin of France versus the number 4 seed Kristoffer Berg Nilsen of Norway. I'm Bruce Hall, and along with Marc Chavet, we provide the international commentary for this year's Bowling Promotion Tour. There is Philippe Thionville, our referee. He's ready to get the match started. It will be Willemin starting us off on the left lane, then Berg Nilsen will bowl on the right lane and then the left, and so on until Willemin finishes the match on the right lane. Arthur now with that harsh reality he's used for his last 2 victories on the left lane. He's been living in the pocket. Let's see how he does here. Gets that a little bit left, a little bit high for a 4-pin, but that's fine. Willemin defeated Kristoffer Viali 182 to 173 in a match where he didn't double. Then he dominated Christo Elliott 237 to 219 and had a relatively easy win in his last match against Arnaud Ambiel 216 to 180. And now he starts off with a 4-pin here, routine spare. Our oil pattern today, custom made for these TV finals, 41 feet of length, 7.86 to 1 ratio, and a rather light 23.8 mils of oil. And we'll talk a little bit more about that light oil volume in a bit. There is Willemin converting that 4-pin with no problem. Now let's get our first look at Kristoffer Berg Nilsen. He qualified 4th, averaging over 218 for his 18 games. He's using a Hammer purple reactive ball today and also has a Motive Evoke Hysteria he threw for 1 practice shot. But it looks like the purple reactive gets the call and he throws out a shot. Beautiful arc to the pocket and 10 back for a perfect first shot for Berg Nilsen. You'd never know he has any TV jitters. This is a confident shot. He strokes through it and that ball reacted perfectly for a strike to kick things off for the Norwegian. Berg Nilsen, 21 years old. He was 3rd in the 2024 Norwegian National Championships. He averages 214 outside of the Bowling Promotion Tour. And as a reminder, he averaged 218 for his qualifying here. So Berg Nilsen overachieving in these qualifying matches. And here he goes in his second shot on the left lane. And pretty much, he gets it off the dry. It comes up and slaps the 10. And that was a pretty good stroke. You can see he's got the revs. He gets to the right a little bit, and the ball turns up. He says, oh, thank you for carrying that 10-pin. So a little bit more on this oil pattern. It's only 23.8 mils of oil. which mean by today's standards that's not a lot. And here is Willemin navigating it perfectly for a strike, for his strike in the second frame. And it means normally you're not going to have as much hold in the middle of the lane as you will have recovery if you happen to get the ball to the right because of the light oil volume. So your miss, if you're going to have one, is better off being towards the gutter than it is pulling it up the lane. Now that said, this left lane is playing a bit tighter, it looks like, and we are also in our fourth match, so lanes break down in lots of ways. And there's a shot a little bit light to the pocket, and what a terrible break there for Arthur Willemin. Let's watch this pin come roll across the deck. That's supposed to take out the 10 pin, but the 6 pin drops in the gutter and blocks it, and he ends up leaving the 7-10. Virtually impossible split, which is more than likely going to leave him open in the third. And indeed, he just takes the 1, throws the backup ball at the 10 pin, which he used to great effect for some tough right-hand spares in earlier matches, but here he just uses it to take out the 10 pin and go 9 out in the third frame. So Berg Nilsen with the early advantage here, and he's going to come up and try to extend his streak to 3 strikes. He averaged over 236 in Fontaine-le-Comte. These bowlers visiting a number of different cities in France as they went through their qualifying and exhibition matches, team matches. A very exciting tour, to say the least. And here is Berg Nilsen on the right lane. And again, he gets it out to the right. See that, how it gets out to the right, works the dry, and comes off perfectly. And another flush strike for Berg Nilsen. Watch this. That's a little further right than his last shot was, and it recovers perfectly to flush the rack for the front 3 for Kristoffer Berg Nilsen. Can Willemin get his 4th in a row? The winner here faces Kenny B.O., the big left-hander. And B.O. having some great success in previous years on the Bowling Promotion Tour. After that, it's Tim Foy, and then our leader Simon Brushovsky from Slovakia rounds out our stepladder. He has to bowl just 1 match to claim this title. And there's another shot out to the right, turns up, and front 4 for Kristoffer Berg Nilsen. Wonderful looking shot here. Look at the way he gets through that shot, stays low, strokes through it, the ball turns up, and nothing but net, as we say, or dead flush. Great shot there. There is Christopher Vialli over Willemin's left shoulder. And he switched balls. That's the Hammer Effect Tour. I think what Willemin is seeing is that harsh reality might be burning a little bit early, not turning as hard through the pocket as he wants. And boy, he certainly threw that one perfectly as he turned it out to the right, got it to flush through the pocket and carry perfectly. I think he sees that he's got his hands full against Berg Nilsen, and if he's going to make a move, he needs to make it early to a ball that goes a little bit longer down the lane and finishes a little bit stronger. Not that uncommon as we get to more and more matches on this oil pattern. Oh, he walked away from that one because he thought he pulled it, and he did pull it, but I think the combination of the less aggressive cover of the Hammer Effect Tour and the oil on that left lane's a little tighter. The ball just kind of skids down the lane and indeed holds on to flush pocket and give him a double. That'll get him back to par, basically. He's basically pacing to 198 now. However, Berg Nilsen plus 30. So give Berg Nilsen the 32-pin lead as he steps up in his 5th frame. Stay tuned for Marc Chavet's interview after this match. And Berg Nilsen, whoa, he got that one way to the right. Look at it come back. Oh my goodness. That's exactly what we're talking about, and he knows it too. Look at that. But I think to his advantage, watch how early he gets it out to the right. He gets it out to that dry, gives it some time to respond off of it. He knew he just pitched it right. He missed his mark right, threw it out to the dry. It turns up, and he kind of waves it off. He says, oh, that wasn't a very good shot, but guess what? It's 10 back, and that's the way you use the pattern to your benefit. I think if he had been pulling him, especially on that right lane, he would be going through the beak. And we've seen some nasty splits when that happens in earlier matches. but now he's making all the right mistakes on the correct lane. So let's see if Berg Nilsen can keep it going here, going for the front 6. And strokes it out to the right, turns it up a little bit late. Oh, just kind of a thin 10-pin. Not a bad shot by any means, but does leave himself the spare conversion shot. Watch that ball turn up, blows the 5 out, and just a little late. And the 6-pin goes into the channel, does not take out the 10. It was a little bit stronger than a weak 10, but certainly either way, the 10-pin does not go. He switches over to the Storm Jason Belmonte plastic ball and gets a little turn there in the end, and indeed makes the 10-pin. So a healthy lead now for Berg Nilsen. He's up to 41 pins. And then, well, can he get 3? Can he get 3? He does. There's a triple for Willemin, making his comeback. He cuts it down to 31 now, and there's a good-looking shot there by Willemin. He flushes it off. Good ball change there. Have to admire the chutzpah of this young man, just 19 years old. Knows to switch balls, get something a little bit longer down the lane, turn up a little harder to try to keep up with the torrid pace set by Berg Nilsen. And really needs to get this one to start to tighten up the match a little bit. Gets it down the lane, looks good, and slaps the 10. He gets his slap 10 on that left lane. And that's 4 in a row since Berg Nilsen switches balls. And that's great lane play right there by Willemin. And watch him turn it up, gets it right down the oil, turns it up. Yes, slap the 10 and give him the 4-bagger. So now 130s, so just a 21-pin lead now for Kristoffer. And that 10-pin wasn't really a bad shot, so let's see if he makes any adjustments. I don't think he should. He's very much in the pocket here. Let's see what happens on this shot. That one's a little bit left. Now, you see, you can't use that hold. You've got to get the ball to the right. And he pulls it up the lane. See that? He needs to get it. First of all, it's a little slow, too, it looked like. He gets a little slow, a little left, and that oil pattern is not going to hold for you when you make that mistake. And he turns it up and now leaves the 3-pin. It's going to even us up and count. And uses the plastic ball to convert it. Exactly 20-pin lead now for Berg Nilsen. Converts the 3-pin there. I'd like to congratulate Bruno Bidone. We now have the French PBA, which is exciting. They have their own logo, and some exciting PBA events are being planned for later in the year, so check the Bowling Promotion Tour website for all that great information. Tim Foy, of course, a full-time exempt touring pro on the Pro Bowlers Tour. And we'll see him 2 matches from now. And now, what will Berg Nilsen do? He left that 10-pin. I think he felt like he had to hit it a little harder. Let's see if he can just get back into his normal stroke. If there's really nothing wrong with the way he's playing him. Now that one, he gets up the lane on the tighter lane, on that right lane, it holds and gives him the strike. So he's back in business. 268 possible for Berg Nilsen, 258 possible for Willemin. So Berg Nilsen has, as we say, ball in hand. He cannot be shut out by Willemin, but Willemin would do well to extend his streak here, going for 5 in a row. And gets it out. Not a bad shot, but oh no! That right lane does not give you any forgiveness. That is a terrible 6-load split. What a mess. That's a 3-4, 6-9 split. And we have seen variations of that split a number of times in previous matches. And wow, what a inopportune time to do that. Now he's going to hook at it. That's interesting the way he goes after it. He might have want to use his regular hook ball to do that. So he leaves himself 8 out in the 8th frame. So 52, 160, right? In the 8th. So now maximum 220. And put himself back to a 38-pin deficit. He's just about got to strike out here to have any chance. And he comes up a little late and gets the roller on the 10. There's a messenger, or a Farkle as Chris Vialli likes to call it. Turns it up and watch the head pin come back. Actually, it knocks another pin over and comes over and takes out the 10. So 220 still possible. And Berg Nilsen cruising at a 238 pace. That's if he doesn't double, if he just gets 2 marks. So 2 marks will lock it up, and even if he doesn't mark, he'll need to lose some count here. So Berg Nilsen really in the driver's seat here. Just needs actually just good count in these next 2 balls. That split was devastating for Willemin on that right lane, and we just saw Berg Nilsen come up high in that right lane. See, this one he gets out to the right, and it stays out there, comes up for the perfect strike, especially on that right lane. You've got to get the ball out to the right. You could not count on any hold from the oil pattern, and Berg Nilsen he really got away with it when he went through the beak. He just left the 3-pin, and Willemin goes through the beak and leaves that designer 4-pin split. And Berg Nilsen's like, what do you think, baby? Good shot, and that is a winner. It will be Kristoffer Berg Nilsen moving on to face Kenny B.O. in our next match. That will be our quarterfinal match. And just 2 matches after that, Tim Foy and Simon Rushevsky, and we will crown our QubicaAMF Masters Series champion. And this is just a coasting shot there for Berg Nilsen. And he's going to round this out. He's already in the 250s. Can he get up to himself to 260? You know, he may not want to do that. Sometimes they say the best person to bowl is somebody just coming off a big game, because when the lanes change, you're less likely to adapt to that change because you just threw a big game. It's hard to move. But nonetheless, Berg Nilsen. Oh, here's this Evoke Hysteria. Let's see how this behaves now. Just a test shot in the 10th, gets it out, turns it up. Well, that's perfect too. So sometimes it's like, boy, you just can't miss no matter what you throw. So Kristoffer Berg Nilsen in his first game here on the Bowling Promotion Tour TV telecast, acquitting himself in fine style. A wonderful 260 game, looking like 268 if he strikes here. And that is a wonderful performance. And there's a forge he's got there. Different ball yet. Let's see what this does. And went even deeper with that. Look, he's trying to cross the lane. It doesn't quite make it back. A little bit weaker cover there on the forge. So he gets the 7. That's going to put him at 265. A wonderful game there by Kristoffer Berg Nilsen, the Norwegian. He will move on to face Frenchman Kenny B.O. And congratulations to Arthur Willemin. A great run. He wins 3 matches. Could not make it 4 in a row. And he will find himself 4th in this stepladder. Actually 5th, right? Yeah, 5th, because it's the 4 seed just won the match. So 5th place for Arthur Willemin, but congratulations to the young Frenchman. Tremendously bright future for Willemin going forward. And he gets that backup ball to take out the 3, 6, 10. And here's the complimentary applause and clapping for that last shot. Of course, nothing but net there on that last one. And that's going to give him an even 200 game with that tragic frame in the 8th. That terrible split. Unfortunately, that was his undoing. But of course, Berg Nilsen did not miss, shot 260. So even if Willemin had struck out, he only had 250 in the wood there towards the end. And let's look at a couple of the shots here. Look at this arc. Look at that beautiful ball. Splits the 8-9. And there's the one that comes up. And that was the slap 10. If you remember that hit, Willemin needed that one to get back in the match. This is the one that's way out to the right for Berg Nilsen. Gets it back, but not a bad thing. So Willemin, 7 strikes, 2 spares, 2 opens. Not going to get it done against Berg Nilsen. He had that 7-10 and that other nasty split, did Willemin, as opposed to Berg Nilsen with a virtually perfect clean game, 9 strikes, just the 2 spares, and give him the 265. So we'll see you back for our next match, and let's check in with Marc Chavet for the interview.
Alongside French up-and-comer Arthur Willemin, going all the way indeed to round number 4, just falling against a Norwegian who is simply put in a class apart, a different league indeed. He went and he fought and he clashed and he battled, but unfortunately this time for Arthur it did not work out. Arthur, arrivé face à ce Norvégien, on t'a vu donner tout ton savoir-faire précédemment, tu as gagné 3 matchs de manière impressionnante, mais là cette fois-ci il était tout simplement trop fort.
Oui, il a joué d'une manière vraiment absolument parfaite, sa réaction de boule était impeccable, etc. C'était vraiment dur de pouvoir rivaliser contre lui. C'est vraiment un joueur vraiment exceptionnel, vraiment exceptionnel.
Arthur saying it was an extremely tall order indeed to go up against this Norwegian. He found his lines right away, just going strike after strike, only 2 spares on the way to getting the victory. Very difficult matchup, but certainly a Norwegian player just lifting the edge of the envelope. Arthur, on va peut-être te demander également comment tu as vécu toi ce Bowling Promotion Tour édition 2025, le changement de localité, d'aller de ville en ville et de faire ces rencontres internationales. And so how did you live the 2025 Bowling Promotion Tour, just going from city to city all around France, and of course all the people that you met across the multiple stages?
C'était vraiment une expérience vraiment incroyable de pouvoir en fait justement de changer de bowling. D'habitude un tournoi ça joue qu'à un seul endroit et là on a pu aller à droite à gauche, jouer sur différents villages et surtout on a rencontré des joueurs extraordinaires comme Tim, Crystal, etc. C'était vraiment incroyable de pouvoir jouer avec des joueurs avec énormément d'expérience et qui sont des pros.
Arthur telling us it was a tremendous adventure to be able to meet all these players from international backgrounds, with Tim Foy, Crystal Elliott, and a bunch of others as well, and go from bowling center to bowling center, just sampling different lanes, different reactions, just the way things are in different locations, and just to be a part of the adventure was something absolutely astonishing. Congratulations. Thank you so much. See you next time.